When COVID-19 swept across the U.S. in 2020, the need for emergency food assistance exploded, and that led experts to label hunger as the secondary pandemic. Compounding the issue, rising food prices caused by labor shortages, transportation costs, and supply chain disruptions.
Consumer prices have jumped 6.2% since last year, a 30-year high, with the cost of groceries up 5.4% overall. Some items like beef and bacon surging by more than 20%.
An average family of four paying $175 more for groceries per month than they paid last year.
Feeding America says 42 million people, or 1 in 8, are going to bed hungry this year.
Yeah, you hear that? That's a terrible, terrible stat. 42 million Americans are going to bed hungry. And nobody in America should be going to bed hungry. You know, you should be going to bed replaying all the conversations you had all day and overanalyzing if you said anything wrong. Plus, going to bed hungry takes all the fun out of your sex dreams. Because now a shirtless pizza guy shows up at your door and your mind is like, oh yeah, we're gonna eat that pizza. But this is actually a big problem in America. It's called food insecurity, which I know sounds like when a watermelon wears its t-shirt in a swimming pool, but all it means is that people don't know where their next meal is coming from. And honestly, it makes no sense. It makes no sense for a country this rich to have this many hungry people. I mean, then again, it makes no sense for a country this rich to have such poor healthcare or such poor infrastructure or such... Actually, are you guys sure that America's rich? I'm just saying, is this like a lie that you said at a bar once and it kind of spun out of control? Either way, thanks to the pandemic, inflation, and supply chain issues, this problem is as bad now in America as it's been in decades. And it may not come as a surprise that the groups hit hardest by food insecurity are the ones that get hit hardest by basically every problem in America: minorities, the elderly, and the disabled. But it turns out this problem is so widespread that it's also hitting a group you might never expect: the troops.
Near Norfolk Air Station, Oceana, you're looking at an American shame: the need to feed military families who can't feed themselves. 160,000 military families fight hunger.
Thank you for your service.
Especially vulnerable junior enlisted ranks. Almost 30% of them need help.
The people who serve our country and sacrifice every single day have to go to a food pantry to make sure that their families are fed.
Among the causes, low wages, frequent moves, high unemployment among military spouses.
How can they focus on the mission when your family can't even survive?
Yeah, that's right. How can you fight a war if you're hungry? It's never a good sign for your military when everyone is trying to get transferred to Colonel Sanders' units. I mean, at a certain point, you realize the other side doesn't even need weapons to defeat you. They can just hold up a bag of chips. Come and join the Taliban. We have flaming hot. I mean, for real, think about it. America spends over $700 billion a year on the military, and its soldiers are going hungry? At the very least, they could make some of those fighter jets edible. I mean, half of them can't even fly anyway. You might as well deep fry them. And that's just how bad food insecurity has become in America. You know, usually when people need help finding a meal, they can turn to their local food bank. But it turns out things have gotten so bad that food banks are facing the same problem as everyone else.
Food banks across the nation are facing yet another crisis just before the holidays. Organizers say supply chain issues and inflation have led to a drop in donations. They say that forced food banks to buy more items on their own at higher prices, and of course, since the pandemic hit, more people have been leaning on them for help.
We are basically competing with everyone else as a pantry, right? Supermarkets, the household consumers.
At El Pasoans Fighting Hunger, demand has quadrupled since the pandemic started. And now, truckloads of food just aren't showing up to their desert community.
So we are struggling every day to find adequate supply, and I've never seen anything like this.
One food bank director told MSNBC that her food bank usually has 5,000 turkeys in their freezer this time of year. This November, they had 5.
Damn, 5 turkeys for thousands of people. Even Jesus would be like, well, I mean, I do miracles, but this, come on, guys. But yes, the place that helps people who are struggling to get food is struggling to get food, which is a really bad sign. It's like a fire truck being on fire, or a firefighter being stuck up a tree. Just go down the way you came up. Go down the way you went up. I can't. I'm scared.